are where the race for climate action and clean air begins. Every decision, every action from us and our local leaders is what impacts our environment and our lives. So it tells a story. And today, on the occasion of World City Day, I want to speak with Sandra and our special guest to understand what are city leaders leading on super pollutant, what's the gossip out there, and what they're planning to do as we are heading towards C40 Cities World Mayor Summit and COP30, and how the action at local level and national action can come together, and these two leadership at city level and national level can work together.
It's great to be here, and it is super exciting to think about all of the action that's going to be taking place in November, just around the corner with the C40 Mayor Summit and also the COP30. The CCAC, the Climate and Clean Air Coalition, and C40 are active partners working especially together in the waste sector, along with other key polluting super pollutant sectors. But today we're going to focus on waste, and we're really excited to have our colleague here today with us. Zach Tofias is the Director of Food and Waste at C40, and he's going to be here to share with us a little bit more in the details about what cities are doing and how they're linking to their national government. So, Zach, without further ado, welcome, and we'd love to hear from you. What's the gossip from cities on super pollutant action right now? Where are they really leading?
I think it's a wonderful question, and it's great to be here. Methane is one of those great areas to take action on. It's created when organic waste is disposed and breaks down in the absence of oxygen. And because cities are primarily responsible for waste management, the activities that cities take to make their cities cleaner, greener, healthier, really has positive benefits today for the residents, but also global benefits. And so the gossip is that cities are doing a lot in this space. Cities are where waste is occurring. And so we're working with cities to increase the collection of waste so that there's not open burning and that it's not clogging storm drains, and that they're able to manage that organic matter so that they can productively compost it or put it into an anaerobic digester. Cities are also really taking action to reduce the amount of waste being disposed. And we've got some great examples from around the world.
Zach, thank you so much. That is super interesting and really exciting to hear about cities. And I feel like I heard a statistic recently that about how much waste was actually contributing to greenhouse gas emissions. Can you remind me?
So waste is responsible for up to 35% of their emissions. And because of that, they're really taking action. So Freetown has really restructured its waste collection system entirely. Buenos Aires has installed new composting plants that are composting around 80,000 tons per year. Rio is already converting about 75% of their landfill biogas into clean energy and biomethane. So there are a lot of great examples at a number of different development phases of how cities are addressing organic waste.
This is so cool. So just to put it correct, the gossip is true and it is reality that countries and cities are taking action, and we have champion cities who are actually at the forefront of the action. So I would like to take this to the next level, Zach, to ask about these cities that are leading, how important it is for cities and their national level governments to come together and team up. Do you know of any specific leadership where you have city and national government coming together as a best practice?
Yeah. So cities are doing a lot on organic waste and waste management in general. And it's an area that we're collaborating very closely on with CCAC and a number of other partners. So we launched the Lowering Organic Waste Methane effort. That's a collaboration that really is focusing on the local delivery of the global methane pledge. And that matches directly with C40's Sustainable Waste Systems Accelerator, which has also a 30% methane emissions reduction target, which is local implementation of the global methane pledge's global commitment. So a few examples. In Lagos, we're working with the Lagos County government, as well as the Nigerian government through this low methane initiative, supporting them on developing prioritized project list so that we can crowd in support. We're doing the same in Brazil. We're seeing incredible leadership from the Brazilian government, and we're working with 6 cities across Brazil through the low methane program that are also developing priority projects. We are identifying the financing need, which is another big challenge, how these projects are paid for. And we're working together, mobilizing resources, that political commitment on the ground, that delivery that cities are uniquely positioned for, in concert and collaboration with the national government. And the partnership and collaboration with CCAC is really helping to make that happen.
Thanks, Zach. That's really good to hear. And all of this work that you and partners are doing with the Lowering Methane Organic Partnership, the LOM, has been really exciting to watch. And I think that cities are really going to come together also at this mayor's summit and be discussing like the actions that they're actually taking on the ground that citizens can see. And my last question is really like, what advice would you give to a policymaker who wants to join these efforts?
Yeah, I think that it's an incredibly important question because we know mayors are doing this already. So I think keep doing it. And I think that where we've identified the areas for intervention are really on those foundational activities. You need to be able to collect that waste. You need to be able to do something with that waste. And so we've got guidance, and we'll put the links on the screen, but the C40 Knowledge Hub has got some great how-to guidance. C40's website has examples and reports, annual reports on how cities are delivering on this effort through the Sustainable Waste Systems Accelerator. And then we've also got the CCAC website that's got the low methane information and examples. And included in that, there's a white paper on finance, there's a white paper on data. So there are all these foundational activities of how do you assess the data? How do you look at the financing options? How do you pay for this activity? And so there's a huge amount of information that we want to make available to everyone, because what we're trying to do is not just change a few leading cities for the better. We're trying to create those good practice examples so that we can scale them. And this collaboration with CCAC is very much how do we identify needs? How do we support those opportunities so that we can move the whole world to delivering on this low methane, reducing organic waste, so that we can get to a point where there is no organic waste going to disposal.
Yeah, thanks, Zach. That is the vision, and I'm sure that we can get there. I think a lot of what we do at the CCAC is also thinking about peer exchange and peer-to-peer learning. And it seems like if I was a policymaker that wanted to make a difference, I could go to your website and sort of see other cities that were similar to mine or were doing things that were slightly more advanced than me, and then I could sort of maybe reach out to those cities or figure out based on their experience. And is that something that you think is easy to do?
Absolutely. I mean, that is what our website provides, and what we very much look to highlight. We've got case studies galore that show exactly what cities are doing so that you can identify a peer solution that makes sense, but also identify somebody that you might be able to reach out and contact. But I think that I would just say that we have a major opportunity here. And as Oscar the Grouch often says, it's called the garbage can, not a garbage cannot. So we can't waste this opportunity, and whatever other dad puns I might add in here. But there is a huge amount of potential here, and there is an incredibly committed partner in mayors and the cities across C40 that are working on making lives better for their residents, making the air cleaner, making the soil cleaner, making the water cleaner, creating good green jobs, engaging the informal sector. So there's a huge amount of potential in the waste sector for transformation to the good. So thank you very much for having me.
So this is so hopeful to see that cities and countries at both level, in all level of governance, are actually taking the lead in in terms of ambition, in terms of action, and it's not the race who gets there first, it's about we get there together. And so this was very exciting, and we look forward to the C40 Cities World Mayor Summit coming up next week, and we encourage anyone attending the summit to join the waste event, and we are super excited to be there as well, and follow up the discussions towards COP30, where we want to see the connection where all of this, the story lines up, and where the cities and countries come together, also with the upcoming NDCs and how we take this to the next level. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Zach, for your time. And we finish this episode with a video from CCAC's co-chair Adalberto Malufi on his opinion of why city and national level action matters. Thank you.
Cities are the most affected by the impacts of climate change and extreme weather events, especially on the most vulnerable. And the mayors in the cities are the leaders of the solution, not only to adapt and create resiliency, but also for the mitigation. So it's very important that we create a multi-level governance structure, almost like a climate federalism, with the federal governments leading the way and coordinating, but having the subnational governments as the leaders of the actions. Mayors are the ones that could decide on transportation, on land use, on agriculture, on waste, on lighting, on energy efficiency, on water. They are the ones that have the policies. So it's very important that mayors get and bring this agenda to very close to their hearts and really try to do the actions that need to be implemented fast as soon as possible together with society. We are living a momentum that climate emergency is here. Mayors are already leading the way in many places, but more and more we need society and the mayors to be understanding that they have to accelerate not only mitigation and adaptation. In the case of Brazil, we created what we call the Green Resilient Cities program that integrates the federal, the states, and the cities, and everybody together, bringing and creating the solution, from the nature-based solutions for adaptation to the mitigation areas on circular economy, waste, and transportations. And mayors are on the front run of that process, and mayors are going to be the leaders to implement and deliver a better quality of life for our people, to generate the jobs, the green jobs of the future, but especially to reduce pollution, mitigate emissions, and have a clear future for all of us.